guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Wednesday, September 27th. And we usually do an intro, but Damian Lillard just got traded. Finally. I mean, we spent the entire summer, everything talking about, oh, when's Dame getting traded? It's going to be the Heat. It's going to be the Heat. Sam's spending the whole summer. They shouldn't trade him to the Heat out of spite. And Sam's now doing the, the meme of the four guys dancing with the coffin where it goes,
that one? I was thinking the Rip Bozo meme, the one that Embiid tweeted when Simmons got traded. That one, too.
Also a very good one. Very good one. Yeah.
I need to actually, before we start, you can talk, but I'm going to look and go into the Heat subreddit because I talked about this when we had Cam on. Little spoiler for you, he's coming on with us.
Yes,
and I can't wait to see what they have to say.
That's gonna be a perfect way for us to enter the show. But Damian Lillard has been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. I'll read the trade here just for the sake of the intro of the podcast for all of you guys, so we know the full deals. The Suns were also in the deal. DeAndre Ayton went to the Portland Trailblazers. The full trade of the deal: Damian Lillard to the Bucks, Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Toumani Camara, 2029 first-round pick, and a Bucks pick swap to the Blazers. And then the Suns get Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. Bucks are also sending Portland they're sending them the 2029 first and swaps in 28 and 30. So the Trailblazers control a lot of the Bucks draft future now. And like Sam said, we are going to have Cam Tabatabaie of Celtics Wire and the Celtics Lab podcast on the show later to talk about maybe a Jrue Holiday to the Celtics trade idea. We're talking about the context of the Dame trade. We're going to break it all down.
A little celebration.
Yeah, we're talking about it all with Cam. We'll go over it a bit briefly here, but we're going to start with Sam. Do we have the Heat subreddit up?
I do. So somebody shared the Adrian Wojnarowski tweet, the breaking. The Portland Trailblazers are trading guard Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks. Sources tell ESPN. Someone said pain, and then somebody replied to that person said, legit might be the biggest FU I've ever seen. Not only didn't trade us Dame, but also made the strongest team in the East stronger. Honestly, I'm impressed. Don't necessarily love the package they got back, though. Kind of pissed Pat couldn't beat it. Really? You don't think they got a good package back? They got Jrue Holiday and DeAndre Ayton. That's an excellent return compared to what? Me and the boys in one draft pick? My God, that like Miami's trade package was terrible.
It's delusional.
I have no idea why anybody thought that the Heat would have any kind of leverage in this. That was the annoying part, and you rat listed it last time because the beat writers were having a victim complex about why won't they just do it? Why won't they just give us Dame for free? Someone said this is what death feels like. Someone replied and said on repeat. We didn't mean it, hero. We wanted you all along.
Oh man, Reddit's what a point.
And we are back to a football town. Shout out to the Dolphins. They are another rat list.
Not that this is a football podcast. 70 points is fucked up. They killed the Broncos, man. 70 points, 71 for Dame. Too bad he's not gonna be there. I wonder if anybody made that joke when it happened, just for Dame to go to the Bucks.
Holy shit! How did we fuck this up? At least it's not Boston.
Fair.
Well,
yeah, sure,
fair.
Whatever.
Portland refused to deal with Miami out of spite and ego. Respect. Yeah, that's all I asked for all summer is just don't do this. Because nobody deserves to win here. Everybody's being terrible. Miami's lowballing them as they kind of should have. And Dame's trying to strong arm them to funnel this deal to where he gets to go play where he wants. Like, this is like euphoria for me, dude. I'm so happy. We already did a half hour on this with Cam, and I'm still buzzed that he just didn't get his way. And the Heat fans that act like it was a foregone conclusion, who I don't even really hate Heat fans that much. There was dude that befriended us during the playoffs that I actually really like, and he's a Heat fan.
The writer.
Yes.
James Alexander, I think his name.
Shout out to him. He's excellent.
Beast.
He's fun on Twitter. He'll troll me once in a while. Respect. But the ones that are just like, yeah, dude, he's on our team. 2K put it in dialogue to smooth over when he eventually inevitably got traded to Miami.
Yeah.
Like this
Did they?
so yes, they did. I saw
what they do.
They literally have like talking points. Like the commentary team will talk about the move or how he just joined the team or whatever. Wow. It was programmed into the game because everybody just assumed this was going to happen. I'm so happy that everybody wasted their time, including us, down. Like, fine with it. Sure. Good. The NBA wins today. This is a victory for the NBA. As much as it sucks from a Celtics perspective that he's going to join Milwaukee and help them revamp their championship contention, not to say that they were even out of it, but to become even stronger, already being one of the top teams to compete with the Celtics. It's not the best, but again, the league wins because players, turns out they don't control everything.
Yeah, I will say, when you mentioned the person on the Heat Reddit saying at least it's not the Celtics, of all the teams that could have gotten Dame in the East, the Bucks feel like the most balanced, if that makes sense. Like the Heat would have gotten him after a playoff run without Tyler Hero. They would have added him to the core that just made the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics, if they had magically pulled off the trade, would have gotten him for Malcolm Brogdon and something else. So they would have kept Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis. The Raptors, if they had maybe gotten him, probably would have gotten him for OG Anunoby, kept Scotty Barnes, kept Pascal Siakam, kept all this. The Bucks had to give up their second best player to get Damian Lillard. They got better. Don't get me wrong. Dame is a better player than Jrue Holiday, but they had to give up an all-star to get an all-star. Everybody else who would have been in this race would be giving up role players and draft picks to get Dame. The Bucks got better, but the defense got worse. The offense got a lot better, but like, I feel like it's the most balanced out of all the possible destinations he could have gone to. That said, if we thought a Jamal Murray, Jokic two-man game was nasty, the Lillard Giannis two-man game is going to be pretty disgusting.
You want to speak of Miami? You've got one of the great memes is the Grim Reaper knocking on all the doors, and Tyler Hero survives yet another trade saga. First they had James Harden, then Donovan Mitchell, then Dame, and he still stands as they begin to knock for Joel Embiid.
I'm surprised it's not Giannis. I was expecting it to be Giannis.
I'm surprised it's not Harden again.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, we talked with Cam. Like that feels like the most realistic one. Somebody put the video of Homelander in the movie theater.
I don't know if I know it. Do I know it?
Yeah, you do. He's just staring off into space.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Somebody put a LeBron mixtape and it says Tyler Hero when it comes to surviving off-season trade rumors.
Yeah.
Then there's Jimmy saying there's tampering. Lebitard, the Miami Heat are going to get Damian Lillard. I believe this is before the news broke.
Yeah.
Tough.
I will say, not to give the Heat credit in anything, that subreddit page looks fire. The court.
Oh, agree. The Celtics one is similar, I think. I'm going to go pull it up.
Okay.
Actually, I think they changed it from the parquet to something you will love very much. Is it going to load? Is it going to load? Is it going to load?
Sam's Wi-Fi.
Oh, no, it's not. But they have a picture of Derek White being celebrated after Game 6 on the side.
Oh, good. There you go. Well, anyways, Dame again traded to the Bucks. Again, we talked about it with Cam. We're going to throw it over to that right now. You can listen to our conversation with him about it, and then we'll be back. All right, welcome in Mr. Cam Tabatabaie. You hear me say his name a million times on the show because I'm with him at Celtics games to the point where Sam mocks me for it every time. But thank you for joining us, Cam. How you doing today?
I'm good, but I texted you and said, "Can I come on the show?" So the pleasure's all mine.
Absolutely, open invite.
Don't say that too loud. We don't need Jack getting asked for people to do guest spots.
Yeah, well, I have Jack's number.
Cam is a VIP.
Gold.
Yes.
It's like him, Bobby Kravitsky. And that's it. Like those are the people that Jack is just like has as honorary members of the show.
It's the 1-2. It's the 1-2. But Cam, you specifically asked to join us for something that I think we were going to talk about anyways. Obviously, the Dame stuff happened. We can talk about that a little bit. I'm sure Sam and I will talk about it for another portion of the show as well. But Jrue Holiday was traded to the Portland Trailblazers in this deal. And if you look at the point guard mold that the Celtics have gone for in recent years, Jrue Holiday is just kind of the super-sized version of that point guard. It's the all-defensive point guard that's good at playmaking. And, well, in the case of Derek White, it's a pretty good three-point shooter. In the case of Marcus Smart, it's a decent three-point shooter. Sam ruining the show. But Jrue Holiday, Celtics, question mark? What do we think?
Okay, let me put, like, realism lens on it first, which is, first of all, the money is pretty tough. It's going to cost at least two of Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, Al Horford, and Robert Williams. And probably definitely Robert Williams, because the Trailblazers want someone young, right? On top of that, you probably have to include Pritchard or Hauser or Cornette, some more salary filler, because Jrue Holiday makes a ton of money. And I don't really see a world where Boston has the best package around.
Possibly.
Thank you for being mature about that. I suppose other teams maybe don't want it on the action and things change, but I don't really know how Boston could possibly actually get in the game unless Brad Stevens called some of his friends in Oklahoma City or San Antonio or Indiana, teams that he seems to have a good relationship with, and he helps make it a 3-team trade such that some tantalizing pieces are going to Portland, because I don't see how Boston has the package Portland would want. Now, it's also worth pointing out that they just said goodbye to a 29-year-old Marcus Smart, who is cuts his teeth on defense, and Brad Stevens likes to sell high on point guards, usually higher than consensus or sooner than consensus. So Jrue Holiday, who's 33, who makes a lot more money, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we've level set. I would have put Jrue Holiday on an all-NBA team last year. I think Jrue Holiday is fantastic. I know Jimmy Butler ate his lunch in that round in the postseason, but in the aggregate, Jrue Holiday is just, first of all, seems like a great human being, seems like his family. They do really philanthropic stuff, so I like the Holiday family. Great defender, great passer, willing shooter. Holy moly, would he be really good. So if you're the Celtics and you see Milwaukee coming down the pike and you're like, uh-oh, they're way better than us now, Jrue Holiday is a really interesting piece to get in on. More interesting than, say, Buddy Hield, which I'd like to talk about. But I don't know. I spent the last few hours trying to make it work on trade machines far and wide. And I don't know how Boston realistically gets it done.
Jrue Holiday would. Yeah. We can get the trade. I kind of spoiled the punchline. I didn't realize when you hit share screen, it goes right to the stream. I thought it was like you have to admit it to the stream.
So we now know who does most of the screen sharing in the podcast.
Yeah, I usually don't do the screen sharing. I usually react to the screen sharing. But I absolutely would take him on the Celtics. I think he's a really good fit. You mentioned Marcus. They're very similar players. Holiday gets the nod league-wide as being the better player. He's had the all-star nods. He had the playoff series where he kind of outdid him in the game 5. You name it. He's done it. And he is older. You're right. And the biggest knock I have on Dame Lillard is old and gets paid a lot of money. That was one thing we talked about throughout the summer, throughout all of this, throughout all of the, they need to do what he's asking. And I'm like, do they really? He's kind of a negative asset, and they hooked him up with this contract until he's going to be gray and old. Shout out Rick Pitino. Really? Do they need to help him out? But Jrue Holiday, his contract, more money than I thought. I thought he was closer to that Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White range. I now have Spot Track up. It's updated. He's got the
$36 million, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
35 this year plus the likely incentive, right? Yep. 36.8 is the cap hit. And then he has a player option for next year. You have to imagine he's going to pick up, right? Unless he's real angry. And he came out, yesterday in an article for some local publication, was like, I'd like to be a Buck for life.
Yeah.
Will say this for the writer. Good thing it got published yesterday, because then all of his work would have just went to waste. That would be terrible. I have some things that I need to shift around now that this trade has gone through that will be coming out. But I'm happy that Jrue Holiday is not on the Bucks anymore. If Dame is going to be there, good for us, I suppose. That's one less defender that the Celtics are going to have to deal with. And happy Dame didn't get his way, even though he kind of got to a winning team. He's going to wear a jacket at least, or get ready to learn cheese.
Yeah. Sam, big spike guy. Sam with the banger of the day. Sam, how many impressions or views does that tweet have?
How many impressions? This is at 5:44 p.m. It has 728,000.
Sam with
that number's not real. Twitter doesn't work. Are you kidding?
Maybe
at least you can count the likes. The
this is true. 10K likes though. We hit the 10K.
There you go.
See a little K there. That's huge.
Yeah.
But
and I plugged the pod.
I did see that.
The pod. Needed it.
It's funny though. You plugged the pod that said Celtics among favorites to land Damian Lillard, which is just like completely irrelevant.
Well, I tried to relate it.
Fair. But Jrue Holiday, Brogdon, and Rob, yeah, I'd do it. I would do it. And as much as you love Robert Williams,
that math, that's not enough money. You have to throw in a third player with those two.
I'd throw in Brissett. I'd throw in Delano, and any last piece. Fine.
They just signed. So you have to. That's the thing.
When does that expire?
I think you can do that before the season starts. Though I think they can be traded before the season
6 months
starts.
after they sign a contract.
Let me check. I'm checking Fanspo. I thought that they can be aggregated sooner. I could be wrong. Very well could be wrong, but let me check.
Could be wrong. It could be neither of those things. Well, so I'm pretty sure it's Brogdon and Rob and Pritchard and Hauser.
I'm hitting Fanspo. Let's see here. You send Jrue Holiday to the Celtics. It works with, as my screen glitches out, with smaller contracts, so it wouldn't have to be Pritchard. It works with like a smaller deal.
So they think you can trade Brissett?
Brissett, it has the recently signed thing. It says October 4th. So it could happen before.
Okay.
Literally Wednesday next week from today.
So it could happen. So Brogdon, Rob, Brissett, and then picks. Bring the meme up, Sam, or actually, but would. I would do it. I think Jrue Holiday is that much of an upgrade over the starting point guard, whoever rolls out. And you know how big I am at Derek White. Jrue Holiday is that guy. He was so good for the Bucks last season. He dropped almost 50 on the Celtics.
That was a crazy day.
Yeah, he makes everything. He's an elite. He's basically Marcus Smart if he was a 40% 3-point shooter, which is just like
that's
exactly what. Yeah, that's a big if. And as far
Marcus
as
Smart would still be on the Celtics if he was a 40% 3-point shooter.
Exactly.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed. That's guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. It absolutely is. The app is easy to use, and you can be on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston. Kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Exactly. And as far as the idea you brought up of, would they have to get a third team involved? Like, there are teams out there that might want Malcolm Brogdon that could help facilitate a trade. One that I've brought up in the past, the Pelicans, who have young assets and they have some people and they have a desperate need for 3-point shooting. Throw Brogdon there. You have them give up like Dyson Daniels, Kira Lewis, these project players who the Blazers might want to take a chance on. First round pick, Blazers get some picks. I would absolutely love Jrue Holiday on the Celtics. You could roll out a starting lineup of Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Porzingis, Al Horford with Derek White off the bench.
Tweet it. Who's stopping them?
Literally. Underrated storyline that we haven't even talked about. Bringing Jrue Holiday back to the East so he can lock up Dame is just all time.
All time.
Jack, that's good.
Exactly. Right.
Evan Turner saying wave him, and then the Celtics can sign him. Ultimate fight move. Imagine if Drew's like, take my money. I'm mad.
Sign it for a minimum. Bring it to Boston. I'm locking up.
That'd be the ultimate respect move. Like, there would be no player in the NBA I would respect more. Not only is he taking a pay cut to succeed, but he's also joining the Celtics. That would be the best day ever. I would just I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's my new guy.
Can I say something disagreeable then?
Oh no.
Yeah, please.
Shouldn't the Heat go and get Jrue Holiday?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Like,
they kind of have to. They promised
do.
their fans something, essentially, like through PR and all this leak and whatever they've been doing. They've essentially teased their whole fan base. I have not been on Reddit this afternoon, but I'm sure the Heat subreddit is doing absolutely swimmingly. How about I thought we might save this for later, but how about Tyler Hero quote tweeting the video of Jimmy Butler saying they tampered and being yeah, what he said. It's like, buddy, you were getting traded. You were the one that was getting sent out. You should be this is great. I get to stay in Miami. I don't have to find a new home. I don't have to move. He's like, yeah, dude, tampering. They weren't going to trade me. Also, you were the poster boy of trade.
Also, Jimmy Butler saying tampering as if the Heat weren't tampering the entire summer. Like, did you see the quote from Damian Lillard's agent? He literally put out a public thank you to Pat Riley for trying his best. What do you mean tampering for the Bucks? That's literally tampering. What are we doing? Oh, the whole thing was a mess. The whole thing was hilarious. It's just...
Yeah, the agent thing, I couldn't believe. That was an unnecessary thing to go public with. You can just tell Pat Riley you think that. You don't need to like put it out there in the world.
I'm saying.
Best part of this whole day is Chris Haynes being last on the
Sam's out on Chris Haynes.
Is like only in the NBA is Dame Lillard, and he's still last on this breaking story. Like, listen, I get it. Like, Woj and Shams are always first on like the trades. Like, that's always what happens. But Dame Lillard is literally Chris Haynes' like meal ticket. Chris Haynes is his mouthpiece, etc. And he was last. When I saw the notifications come up, and then I saw Chris Haynes like 3 minutes later, I was like, "Oh boy, I forgot how bad he is at reporting fast."
Let's put those puzzle pieces together. That suggests that Woj got it from the Bucks first, or maybe the Suns first, or Shams did.
True.
But we didn't hear much about the Bucks in this whole process. I think it was floated here and there, but it was
Mark J. Spears. I was scrolling through NBA Central because I was looking for the Dame will request a trade if he's not traded to Miami, and I stumbled upon that from 4 days ago. So good for him. He was right.
Or I mean, yeah, he was right. I mean, so he's
a good guess.
ESPN.
Yeah, it was an ESPN article.
We should have guessed every team, and then you could clip it and be like, "Well, this team might go get Dame."
Yeah, ultimate move from the Heat, though, right? Obviously, all these reports came out. I was reading Barry Jackson's Twitter of from the Heat perspective, and it was like, "Oh, the Blazers never re-engaged with the Heat. The Heat seemed fine with it." Ultimate spite move is for the Blazers to wait for the Heat to inevitably reach out about Jrue Holiday, then leak that the Heat reached out about Jrue Holiday, and then not trade Jrue Holiday to the Heat.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
Blazers might have taken a few rungs down on the hater power rankings after this. Big respect.
Yeah, this is big time. I knew you'd like this as soon as it happened.
I just don't know what the Heat are going to do because
they could go get Buddy Hield or James Harden or Jrue Holiday. There's still
James Harden.
There's also
that's a fast way for him to not be fat.
If they really wanted to get weird.
Siakam.
What do you mean?
I hope they trade for Harden.
Miami.
Yeah, but
that's what I mean.
Butler beat him in shape.
Yeah, no, Heat culture. They'll shame him into not being fat.
Is he allowed to have that beard?
Sure, it's they pull a Yankees where they're like, "You gonna shave your head, buddy? Get rid of the
Didn't Gabe Vincent have a decent beard? Not a Harden beard, but he has facial hair.
I mean, Chris Anderson. You want to talk about beard? Birdman was rocking one. This whole Jrue Holiday thing is the most interesting part of it to me because we briefly brought up the Bucks when we were talking about Dame destinations, and we immediately dismissed it oh, they're not going to trade Jrue. That's the only way. And the fact that they were willing to do it, I wrote about it from a Celtics angle for Celtics blog, and I was like, their offense was 15th in offensive rating last year, so it clearly needed a boost. It clearly needed help, but doing this at the sacrifice of they don't have perimeter defense anymore, right? Their best wing/guard defender is now going to be Pat Connaughton. They lost Javon Carter too. Grayson Allen wasn't a world beater, but he was competent, and they lost him too, right? Their best wing defender is going to be Marjon Beauchamp, who had an okay rookie season, but that's a second-year player. Giannis, yeah, but I'm talking about smaller guards, wings, and stuff. He's a forward,
okay.
And I mean, look at it in the context of the Celtics. You have Giannis to guard. Let's say Tatum. Let's say he takes on the Tatum matchup. Or you know who it's going to be? Jay Crowder is 37 and going to be guarding the Jays for the entire season. And he's fine, but I'm not thrilled with Jay Crowder being my best wing defender outside of Giannis, obviously, who will probably take on some the top matchup. But their defense is going to take a hit this year, and their offense is going to be phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but that Bucks defense, it might be little shaky.
It's gonna be so bad. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I would love to know who's stopping Derek White.
It's just true. Derek White going for 40.
He did have a monster game against the Bucks right before Valentine's Day. That was the fellas game when nobody played for the Celtics, and he had a double-double with 27 points. He had a crazy game against them, and that was with Jrue. So watch out.
Yeah, think so poorly of Damian Lillard's defense. And
I remember we talked about this at length.
I don't know how many times the Celtics
I like this.
got in trouble because you could just pick on their point guard. Now Boston gets to turn around and just mercilessly hunt him the way teams used to Kemba Walker or Isaiah Thomas. And that's not hyperbole. If you look at the data, Dame Lillard is consistently not just like a bad defender, one of the worst defenders in the NBA. And he's 33, and you're going to pay him $60-something million in 2 years. Look, the Bucks might win a title out of this, and just like the Jrue trade, it was worth it, especially for a small-town team. But holy Moses, Giannis could still walk in a year and a half if he's not liking it. And then what happens to Milwaukee?
That'd be kind of funny if he left after.
If he goes to Miami,
well, that'd be terrible. But
less funny.
I texted Jack as soon as this happened. I was like, Giannis bullied them, dude. Like they heard all this Giannis noise all summer, and it all kind of makes sense now. Like he was probably aware that this was an option. They probably were unsure of either how they were going to get it done or if they wanted to get rid of Jrue Holiday. And he was just like, yeah, dude, like I want to win, might leave. And they were like, well, shit, we have to go get Dame. And they brought in Dame. But Dame. I mean, you're completely right, Cam. I've been harping about this contract all summer, and the defense does not help it. He's an aging point guard who partly relies on his athleticism to be great. Of course, he can still shoot like nobody's business. So that's a plus as he ages. But 33, he's going to be making $60 million when he's 36, 37 years old. Good luck to Milwaukee. They don't have any draft picks.
No picks.
If you're the Pelicans, dude, you're just sitting there like, oh my God, did this really just happen?
They got the picks.
Sure, Giannis could leave, I guess. Like, Knicks fans are really convinced they're getting Giannis. And Giannis, there has been, like, little rumblings that he has interest in the Knicks. Like, I've heard that, like, he's talked to people and told them, like made, like, little winks, like, when the Knicks were mentioned. But I don't know if he's going to leave now. They try to earn his respect. This is a big season for the Bucks, I guess, at the very least.
Yeah, but if this playoffs and next playoffs they come up short, he's not going to sign the extension for money reasons. Then he can say, "Look, I respect what you did, but I got to walk."
Are the Celtics going to break one of the league's best for the second time in the last 15 years and make him leave again?
I mean, it's possible. Well, to that end, again, I don't think the math works for a Jrue Holiday thing. If Boston thinks there is even like a sniff that Embiid or Giannis would want to come to Boston, like even giving up an iota of extra crap in the cupboard undermines that, because Boston doesn't have the best offer, so they're going to have to hold on to everything they've got. So
true.
I don't know. I like Brad Stevens coming out and being like, "We love Brogdon, and also he's healthy." Maybe they're not looking to make a move, even though we were kind of promised they would over the summer.
Well, yeah. You did mention if Smart shot 40%, he would still be on the team. And I raised you, if the Clippers weren't assholes, he would still be on the team. So there's that angle to it, too. I mean, I don't know how much they want to get rid of Brogdon. They only have the two guards left where they don't have that flexibility to really be like shopping Brogdon around. Unless you get
Jrue Holiday.
Really great back, like Jrue Holiday. I don't know.
Oh, I'd love Jrue Holiday.
I would like that. You'd get me excited. I'm usually anti-trade, but you find a way to get Jrue Holiday. He's a really, really good fit. Yeah, good fit. Defense, can play offense. He was an all-star last year. Why not go get him? Even his contract has a player option for next year. Again, you would imagine he'd pick it up, but after that, you're not married to him. It's not like Dame where you have him forever as he becomes decrepit and old, and you're paying him so much money. With the new CBA, like, this is fine. I don't know if I want to give up Rob, though. I feel weird about the Rob thing because Rob keeps getting thrown in trades, and I'm like, well, I don't know if we should all give up on Rob yet.
He's the only interesting piece.
It's true.
Yeah. And also, like,
that's why I hate trades.
If you have a chance to get an all-star, I feel like it's gotten to the point where Rob isn't, like, he's still young and he's still intriguing, but he's not like 21 years old, just off the fresh, like, I think it's worked out well. And Cam, I know you're a big nickname guy. Jrue Holiday, just looked it up. Banger nicknames. So you bring some juice to the squad if you want some elite Celtics nicknames. Number one, Jay Holla, the Druth, and Kung Fu Jrue. So he's got some,
they would sell the Celtics fans so hard on the Jrue. Like we would all be rock hard. We'd be like, Pierce, dude, like get him here. We'd have like Pierce courtside in his DraftKings hoodie, taking pictures with Jrue Holiday, and we'd all be like,
the Jrue is huge.
Hang his number in the rafters.
Yeah, I would absolutely take Jrue Holiday. I would love Jrue Holiday in Boston. For what it's worth, Cam, we do fan mailbags or email check-ins every time. RJ Johnson, who's basically a producer on our show now because he emails us all the time, was right on it. Said, can the Celtics swing a deal for Jrue Holiday?
Was this
ideally
today?
Bundling? Yeah, this was literally like 10 minutes after the trade. Ideally bundling Brogdon and Hauser. Could they work a three-way swap with Brogdon going back to Indy, Parts headed to Portland, blah, blah, blah. From the Celtics perspective, the Bucks are harder to guard, but perhaps easier to score against without Holiday. Congrats. Also, Sam, getting your wish of Dame not going to the Heat. There you go.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I cheered your congrats with a voice crack. Sorry.
Absolutely.
That's how excited I am. I was screaming all afternoon.
All right, so let me. Can I ask a question? Also, my Wi-Fi is just like fighting.
That's all right.
Jack deals with me, dude. Like
Sam, every podcast.
You know how like people do the donut bat like before they go up at baseball? That's me for Jack when anybody has bad Wi-Fi. Like he's ready.
I mean, what's frustrating is the guy came a few months ago and fixed it. It's just the past few days that it became crappy. Anyways, so there were whispers that the Bucks might be a Dame player, but like we weren't really anticipating that. So who is the Milwaukee equivalent for the James Harden situation?
Miami, maybe. Now
China?
That they didn't get Dame. Yeah,
I was gonna say China, but I didn't want to do it. But yeah, I'm all for that. Like send him. I said for Dame, like if I was in charge, I'd see if I could send him to Real Madrid. He's pissing me off so much. Get Yabusele back, maybe Semi Ojeleye, and the next Luka. Next time they have a Luka, you get his rights.
I feel like Miami. If it's not the Clippers, and Miami says, okay, we'll give you Tyler Hero, we'll give you whatever you need, and make it work. Because like realistically, Tyler Hero and Tyrese Maxey defensively, yikes, but it's not going to be much worse than a James Harden Tyrese Maxey defensive backcourt. So you get younger, you get another scorer in there, you get whatever picks and whatever, not as much as the Dame trade, but maybe you squeeze a Jaime Jaquez, or you squeeze a defensive Haywood Highsmith, someone
Jovic.
Else in addition. Jovic, you squeeze some other assets out of Miami, you get a decent package in return. But the thing is, Daryl Morey doesn't want to take on contracts for next year, so he's just like being an asshole too.
What if the Raptors come in like Kramer and just are like,
that's
here's
a good one,
whoever you want, even though they wouldn't do that for Dame, like reportedly did not want to give up OG. But the Raptors are trying not to rebuild. Like they're refusing to give up on this group of guys they have. It would make sense for them to go after Harden, especially because they were interested in Dame. And I almost think like Harden kind of works up there because they have so many like supplementary pieces where he could be the heliocentric player he was at his peak. Obviously, he's not physically there anymore. His legs are kind of giving out. He's getting injured every once in a while now. But it makes sense. I don't know who they're giving up, though. Like, they don't want to give up Anunoby. They didn't want to give him up for Dame. They're not going to give him up for Harden. Is it Scotty Barnes? They didn't want to give him up either. Siakam doesn't want to leave. What else do they really have? I mean, Philly's not going to want Boucher or
Gary Trent.
Gary Trent, dude. To me, Gary Trent's a negative contract. That's just me, like, being kind of casual when it comes to the rest of the league. But, like, it's just, like, not a guy I want to pay money to.
He's fine. I don't know. But I will say, if Dame didn't want to report to Toronto, I'd bet you money James Harden isn't too thrilled about heading up north to the Raptors.
Why do people hate on Toronto? Like, it's like, I've never been there, but like, it is like the biggest city they have to offer up there. Like, it's essentially their New York. It's no joke. It's a major city in the world. Like, it's not, you're not getting sent to Utah. You're getting sent to hang out with Drake and the fellas, and you can be on a rap album and run through with your woes.
Can I ask another hypothetical?
Yeah.
Did you guys actually believe in Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins for that brief moment?
I thought it was fun.
For a second.
I was too young. Cool. Really. I was like, well, Rondo and those two, maybe. But it was hard. You really couldn't believe in anybody then because the Warriors were still around, like at their peak. I think they had KD at that point. So it was like, why is everyone even trying?
That Siakam and Embiid if you squint, looks something like that, and then it's just like the Cameroonian version of that, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
If I'm the Cameroon national team, I'm lobbying.
Bring those two in.
Way cooler in the West. Just my thoughts.
Send them out.
I mean,
get them out of here.
I don't know. I guess the Celtics are gonna have to figure out how to do double bigs most of the time. So, if it works
Porzingis for Holiday.
Porzingis, no.
Imagine.
No.
You wouldn't?
Whoa. No, I don't think so. Because then that just leaves.
I guess you're the same team as last year.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But I don't know. Interesting. I'm all in on a Jrue Holiday for the Celtics. I would like it. I think a lot of teams are going to be interested in bringing him in though. Like if I'm the Sixers, I look for it. If I'm the Raptors, if I'm the Bulls, any of the teams that were interested in Dame, I'm saying give me Jrue Holiday, and you work it out from there. I mean, I don't know what his relationship's like with the Pelicans, but you get Jrue Holiday back to pair with CJ McCollum in the backcourt with Ingram, like that's gonna be a damn good team too. So
and Zion, if he's in shape,
if he can play.
I love to make fun of Zion, but they were the best team in the conference when he was healthy.
Yeah, they were damn good. Yeah, it'll be curious. I like how patient Portland was. That's pretty extraordinary. So they can be patient with Jrue. He can be a good veteran for Scoot and the others. But between Buddy Hield, Harden, and Jrue, it's a buyer's market. There's a lot of two guards that are on the move, and so teams don't have to overpay. Again, I don't know if Boston can actually land Jrue Holiday, but like say Buddy goes in the next few days for 3 second-round picks, it's going to reset the board for what guards are worth.
When you say 3 second-round picks, I'm just like, the Lakers are going to get him. It's going to be another free guy for them. They got a whole free team at the trade deadline. You get another free guy. Why not?
Yeah, but I'm so high on Buddy Hield. I want the Celtics to trade with Buddy Hield.
Hield's good.
Perhaps more than Jrue because of financial stuff and. I know.
I wouldn't go that
far. Volume.
No, there's an angle to it. I don't think you're crazy.
Yeah,
contract's better. You give up less.
Yeah, like Jrue. I don't know how Jrue and Derek White fit together. I feel like Derek White and Buddy Hield fit together. I mean, the dream is make Jaylen Brown the 2 guard, and then you don't really need a traditional backcourt in the same way. But we will see.
I guess we will see. All right. Well, Cam, I know you have to go. Head out of here. We will thank you for joining us. Thank you for chatting Jrue Holiday, Dame Lillard, and let people know where to find you on Twitter, just because I think I've gotten pretty good at pronouncing your name, but I usually mess stuff up when I say things.
You say it enough.
Yeah, I know. I gotta
start pronouncing my name.
Is this SeatGeek promo real? You guys have a SeatGeek promo?
We do.
We've had that forever. Yeah.
Been there forever. You reached out a long time ago, and they said, yeah, here you go. And they gave us a code. So shout out SeatGeek.
Wow.
Maybe more to come. If you're a popcorn guy, maybe not. We don't know yet.
Eyes emoji.
We'll tease.
All right, I'm waiting for the Chiron to come by so I can say it out loud one more time. Yeah. All right, thanks for having me. Make sure to have SeatGeek. Use promo code HBTC. $20. Wow, look at that. Good for you guys. Jack, I'll see you tonight, right?
Yes. Celtics Lab. That was like, do I have plans tonight? No, yes, absolutely. I'll be on Celtics Lab. You guys want to go get more thoughts on Dame and stuff? I'll be over there with them tonight. Sam's lame and he has actual physical activity in a men's league game to do. Loser.
All right, well,
yeah.
Maybe if I'm wired, we'll see. I don't know.
Open door, baby. Come on down. I mean, Jrue Holiday might have been traded by then,
It's true. We never know. But yeah, thank you, Cam, for joining us. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming by. Thank you once again to Cam for joining us to talk Jrue Holiday, Dame Lillard. Again, he has an open invite on the show. You might see him and Bobby in here more and more, just because why not? We're hanging out, getting people's perspectives. But we're going to jump into some non-Dame news. Jayson Tatum went on what is the podcast?
Cold as balls.
Cold as balls with Kevin Hart. The season opener, I believe. For Kevin Hart in his show, and he dropped some nuggets of information. Shout out Trevor Haas of Celtics blog, who literally wrote an article, "The best nuggets from Jayson Tatum's one-on-one with Kevin Hart." We're gonna read Trevor's article. Is what we're doing. We're gonna yoink. We appreciate you, Trevor. Thank you for being a beast, and we're gonna relay the information to y'all on the pod here. But on the show, he gifted. Yep, he has it here. Gifted Kevin Hart a Deuce Tatum jersey. And said, we think it would fit you. They told me it might fit. I know how much you love the Celtics. Kevin Hart, who is a 76ers fan, put on a Deuce Tatum jersey, which
disrespectful
is very
to use
small.
Red's number. A little bit.
Maybe, but it's Deuce. It's 2. It's come on, it's fine. Funny though that the jersey does in fact fit Kevin Hart. He goes, it actually fits pretty well. Compliments his looks. Hart asked Tatum if he wanted to be a singer, and Tatum responded that he wanted to be a model. I get a lot of compliments from people on the street at gas stations. I would go pump my gas and be like, "You're a lot more handsome. You're a lot more handsome than I thought." Yeah, Tatum pulling up to gas stations, fishing for compliments.
Damn. I always get like, where are your parents?
Yep. I got a message on a dating app today that said, "Well, hello, fellow baby face." I was like, I'm just gonna go crawl in a hole and die.
Well, then you're like, well, I hope you don't look like a grown man.
Yeah. It's like, this is a disaster.
I hope you don't have a 5 o'clock shadow. That'd be kind of tough.
Number 3, Hart asked Tatum to name something he works on daily. Tatum said, being the best dad I can be. Hart accused him of hesitating and not loving his son. Kevin Hart's a funny dude, man.
I think Kevin Hart's at the point where he's too famous to do like real comedy, but he is funny off the cuff. Like, we went into this and I was to be like, well, I'm not really sure how funny Kevin Hart is anymore, but that's not fair. The thing is, like, and I think I heard somebody talking about this recently, is like once they become too famous, then they don't come off as relatable anymore, so their stuff's not as funny. So I think that's what happened to him, but he's still very funny off the cuff. I have to give credit. Would have been very mean and unfair. Even I'm not that much of a
yeah, Tatum's getting drafted is quote unquote by far the best day in his life so far. Started playing basketball when I was 3-4, got drafted when I was 19, 15 years. Surprised Kevin Hart didn't rip off. So not the day your son was born.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, damn, like the anti-Deuce allegations are stacking up.
Yeah. Okay. It's not letting me scroll anymore. It's not letting me scroll because it's like stuck on. I'm refreshing. It's not letting me scroll because I'm stuck.
You have
on
it like
fucking
stuck
Zoom.
on Zoom. Yeah.
No, it's just not working. Every time I go back, I'll do it manually. Realized the NBA was realistic at a young age. That I had scholarship offers from every school when I was 14. Humbly doesn't sound humble to me, said Hart, which is all-time Kevin Hart. This scroll thing is really pissing me off. I'm just going to scroll every time. Look, I'm just going to scroll, and it's just not letting me scroll.
If you're listening, like the words are just getting bigger and smaller as Jack tries to scroll.
All right. Hart accused Tatum of wearing a toupee. Tatum insisted that Hart is envious of his hair, and he said, "I woke up, threw some water on it, and I walked out the door." Hart questioned whether anyone had ever seen Tatum comb his hands through his hair during a game, noting that if he did, it would fall right off. Again, very funny guy. Tatum believes
Seinfeld where George wears a toupee and he actually looks really good with it, and his hair looks super good. But then Elaine gets sick of it, so she rips the toupee off and throws it out the window.
There you go. Tatum believes he's top 5 player. He was asked about it, said absolutely. Asked if journalists finally respect him. He said called it a slippery slope, adding that he cares more about his peers. Good. Tatum acknowledged the opinions of journalists have bothered him over the year. Hart said everyone with a hair like that gets bothered, which is all time. Discussed Celtics offseason moves, said our team looks a little different. I'm excited and sad about Smart and Grant are gone, but we've got some great new additions. Hart reminded him that the 76ers stand in the way, and Tatum immediately responded, "Do they?" And then Hart said, "We will eventually." So questionable there from Kevin.
Kevin Hart is a wee guy. All right, noted.
I saw somewhere that like fans are allowed to use the word "we" because they root and cheer for the team. Journalists aren't because they are covering the team. Which I understand.
Journalists definitely aren't, but fans aren't. What number are you, fan? That's what I'd like to know.
I get it. They're invested.
Out on it. Hate it. Hate we.
Out on Sam just being an asshole all the time.
I've always been out on that. It's like you're not on the team.
I know it is, but even when I end the conversation, you're like, "Nope, fuck it, fuck you, fuck it, hate it." I'm like, brother, I was like, okay, it's fine.
I didn't try and carry it on that much. I was putting a cap on it. Sorry, I didn't mean to draw on it.
I was like, all right, let me go on to the next one. And Sam's like, "Nope, out on it." I'm like, oh damn, he's really passionate.
I was trying to fill while you scrolled.
Well, you mean tried to scroll because I still am not allowed to use the fucking button.
Well, you just expanded all the way like you did that last time.
I know. It won't even let me like click. Look, if I click, it's like stuck somewhere on the page, so I don't actually know what's happening. Like it's yeah. This is a disaster. I don't know. This is pissing me off. Hart questioned the name of Tatum's candy, which I forgot he had a brand. Tatum shared that he helped start a candy company called Small Wins. Hart asked if the name was dedicated to the small wins he's had throughout his career, as opposed to the big wins that have eluded him, which is hilarious considering he roots for Joel Embiid.
Acknowledged small.
Also true.
What's wrong with being small, Kevin Hart?
Tatum reminded everyone at the time he tweeted at LeBron James at 13 and asked him to follow him because his dad's best friend was Larry Hughes. Probably still doesn't follow you to this day. Hart said, I wouldn't. Tatum talked about the Udoka situation. I remember I talked to the team and I was like, we have a decision to make. We can either separate or we can bring us together. I think we just made a conscious decision that this was going to make us better and tougher. Interesting that Tatum was in on the Udoka situation, because I will say out of all the stars, Brown was upset about it, Marcus was upset about it, but Tatum was always seemed like not too annoyed at the situation. So it makes sense that he was brought in on the decision making.
No, I don't think he was brought into the decision making. He was brought in on how this is him speaking to the team. He's like, we can decide how we want to handle this in response to what the Celtics decided to do with Udoka.
Oh, okay. Understand.
We can drag our feet and mope about it, or we can move on and try and win a title. That's what I read from this.
Perfect. Next part. Explain why Steph is better than McGough. You do comedy movies, right? Tatum said in the times you ventured off to do serious films. It's like he's trying. Said that Curry has the advantage because he started at a young age. Talked about the 51-point game. Hart mentioned Tatum's explosion in Game 7. When he called it a 50-piece, Tatum snapped back and said 51. Then Hart reminded him that he dedicated the game to him. I wouldn't say I dedicated it to you. I said I hope we can remain friends. Fire. Said winter is coming for Philly, maybe. Tatum would like to make a cameo. This was a little dip into acting for Tatum, who said he would like to make a cameo in a Hart movie. I'd have a great role for you, Hart said. Dickhead number 1.
Yeah. Who's dickhead number 2?
It's Joel Embiid. Second place. Nice interview. Fun interview. Jayson Tatum, Kevin Hart. Go listen to the full time. You want to check it out. Favorite tidbit? I'd say the Philly line.
I kind of like him saying he was handsome. Tatum is
that
handsome.
was a good one too.
Yeah.
That was a good one. The gas station part. Yeah, people at gas stations told me all the time that I'm a pretty cool guy.
I feel like Jayson Tatum is not pumping his own gas.
Maybe not, but we shall see. The next thing here, none of my stuff is working, and this is I'm not gonna edit this out. I can't click. I can't click on the Google Doc. I don't know why my mouse is not working.
Lead into it?
No, it's not even deleted. I need to put the timestamp in, and I'm just not allowed to use my mouse.
Okay. You want me to do that?
No, it's fine. I just unplugged my mouse and plugged it back in, and I'm hoping it works again. But all right, I seem to have fixed the problem, and the only reason I'm talking about it without editing out is because I fixed it by throwing my mouse at the wall. And we're back, and we fixed it. Mouse works again. I'm allowed to type, and we're going to talk about Brad Stevens talking about Malcolm Brogdon. I'm going to let Sam lead it in because he put it on here, and I'm still kind of angry about my mouse.
Yes.
Being broken, so please.
Good for you being angry.
Thank you.
It's nice not to be the angry one once in a while. So the Boston Globe put out a piece, a little bit of a Celtics update. Gary Washburn got busy, hit the keys, and gave us some good info about the Celtics heading into camp. He spoke with Brad Stevens, who told him a little bit about Malcolm Brogdon. Washburn writes that Stevens acknowledged that Brogdon was upset about nearly being traded to the Clippers in July, but the sides have had conversations over the past few weeks. Brogdon has arrived in Boston, will be ready for training camp. This is what Stevens now said to Washburn. Everybody's in Boston. Everybody's healthy. Knock on wood. If everybody gets through the rest of the week, we should be full next Tuesday when we start practice. We're excited about that. So excellent news heading into camp. This clears up a little bit of Porzingis controversy, worry, concern. Also with Brogdon's forearm, that was a big issue this summer that we talked about at length, especially the last couple of weeks. Brogdon, according to 2 NBA sources, was upset about nearly being traded. He also spent the summer rehabilitating his elbow injury, apparently without surgery. Stevens acknowledged Brogdon's displeasure, but said it is being resolved. Of course, and I would say he had every right to feel upset, Stevens told Washburn. We said that in the summer, but he's a real pro, so we've had several discussions. He's looking forward to getting started. we're looking forward to getting started, and here we go. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to them getting started too. I'm sick of going through Bleacher Report and being like, what trades can we talk about, dude?
Yeah, no, Brogdon being healthy for start of training camp is huge. I mean, honestly, I feel like a bigger worry outside of the trade rumor should be, is he healthy again? Because he was rough in that postseason after the injury. So good to hear that he's
lost
healthy.
in Game 7 by just stepping on the floor.
He was a negative 15 in 7 minutes. That was the
end of the game. That was the end of the season.
That was a pretty big difference. But good for Brogdon. Good for Brad. Again, as much as this is nice to hear, it could just be him posturing. Possible, but regardless, nice to hear that Brogdon's back in town, healthy, and supposedly getting back to happy.
Work on a Brad impression. So if I do reads and quotes from him, it'll be like Brad's on the show.
Yeah, true. Then we can title it "Brad Stevens joins the show." We can just do an impression.
You can put like a picture of him over me.
Scam. All right. Next thing, surprise addition to the show because I just saw it on Twitter. Jrue Holiday to Boston for real? ? Shams Charania joins the rally. Portland is going to be active over the next several days to find the new landing spot, rerouting Jrue Holiday to another team. Teams like Miami, Toronto, Boston. Question mark. Doesn't mean anything. Shams could just be saying these are teams that make sense. But the fact that Shams is saying that on TV, saying this could be a team, I thought it was worth noting and putting in the show. Right? Am I right? I mean, hey, man. You know what, Sam? You know what get ready to learn breaking, buddy, for the How About Them Celtics YouTube channel. Get ready to click on that video. Yeah, that's gonna hit. It's gonna hit at 3 p.m. when Sam's at work.
Would you like to do a breakout now and put it out or no?
No, it hasn't actually happened. Nothing's happened yet. It's just could happen.
Okay.
Just share.
Well, I don't mind doing it if I'm at work as long as I can break away.
Yeah. But I just thought the fact that Shams is saying like Boston could be a potential destination. The fact that he's even putting that out there has to mean there's some slimmer of interest. And if I'm the Celtics, Robert Williams, and obviously Brogdon would have to be in it to match salaries, but if I'm the Blazers, Robert Williams and 2-3 first-round picks or 2 first-round picks in a swap or something, like, not a bad deal. That is not too bad, you know? But hey, I'd love it. I'd love Jrue in Boston. Obviously, you just heard us talk about it with Cam.
Yeah.
I would adore Jrue Holiday trade for the Celtics.
Would.
Absolutely would. But moving on to what I believe is our final Celtics thing, we're going to check in with our email. Thank y'all for sending us emails. RJ, you did send us one. We're going to save that for the next pod, and we're going to do an entire segment on the doc you sent us. So don't think we forgot. We saw it. We appreciate you. We're saving it for next pod so we can dive deeper because Dame stuff consumed us today. But we are going to get into Philip's question for the pod, Hey, fellas, thank you for taking questions and continuing to put out fun content. You guys are set up for an excellent season of podding to come. Thank you very much, Philip. We appreciate you. My question is a multi-parter about our competition. In the past decade, we made a lot of moves thinking about our competitors, such as acquiring players to deal with our key matchups or MVP level competition. However, in the last 2 seasons under Brad, there seems to have been a philosophical change to working on ourselves and not the opposition. KP, for instance, does not feel like a solution to Jimmy, Embiid, Giannis, but clearly complements the Jays on offense. You could say we are proactive instead of reactive. Do you agree? What difference, if at all, is there in Danny and Brad's respective angles? First question. Let's tackle question by question. So that first question, do you agree? I would say yes. It does feel like Brad Stevens has taken a larger focus on complimenting the Jays. I wrote about the difference between Brad and Danny's philosophies in a Celtics blog article earlier this summer. I know you did comment on our thing asking us to link articles we talk about, so maybe if I can find it and I remember, which there's a chance I don't.
They are on Facebook. You can find part of the little content stream I'm trying to do on there is when we write stuff, I'll put it up. So just more interaction with us. Whatever.
Maybe we'll share them to the YouTube community as well because we can.
Can we do that?
Community. Yeah, I think we can post.
Yeah, okay.
So we can do that too. But I do think that Brad has been more of a let's spend a little much to fill out the edges rather than go star hunting. You know, let's bring in Derek White, even if it means a first-round pick. Let's bring in Brogdon, even if it means a first-round pick. Let's take the risk of trading Smart, even if to get Porzingis, all this stuff. So I do think he's like Danny Ainge seemed like he was. I'm ready for the big moves other than I'm keeping my assets and waiting. Brad seems okay. Let's get a little, let's hit singles basically. So I think what his Brad has done.
I think that Brad has done an excellent job. Call me crazy, right? You're absolutely right. He's really kind of gotten out in front of everything. It's almost like he's secretly planned some of these moves in the past, right? So the Derek White move, even before that, he brings in Josh Richardson. He gives him a contract extension so he becomes more tradable. That kind of plants the seeds for him to be flexible in the future. Then he brings in Derek White, who has really proved to find a niche with the Celtics and really be effective with them, especially as a starter. That's one thing we saw this season is when he started, which he did a large majority of the time because of Robert Williams being out and other guys being out. Smart got injured during the season, so that was a big stretch for him as well. Brad might have been like, what if we move off of Smart? And he brought in somebody that can kind of fill the role, do similar things to him, and play in a similar style and complement the Jays, like you said. I don't think we've seen Brad do anything that's like solely to compete with the other teams, maybe aside from bringing Horford back. If you really want to point at that and be like, well, they need him for Embiid. But also the Celtics swept the Sixers in the bubble and they didn't have Horford. So
he was actually
and the Sixers did have the Horford. Yeah.
On the other team.
Yeah. So that's a strategy. But then as we had the little Jrue excitement party here, that could be a reactive move to not only kind of like sprinkle in some spite, but also to have somebody to really hone in on Damian Lillard with a little bit of extra fire under him.
Yeah, this is true. And I agree. And not that the Celtics don't have that already, because Derek White's an all-defensive player. I pointed that out in my Celtics blog article, and I think that's important too. Second question for Philip. As I look at the East, I do not see many teams acquiring players as quote-unquote Giannis stoppers or other reactive strategies. Do you think other teams are shifting their approach too? Maybe. I don't necessarily think that this is as much of the approach anymore in the NBA, like you're saying. I feel like teams are more focused on improving internally and helping their guys be at their best. I think the Celtics have that in Horford. I think they lost one in Grant this summer, which is a subplot. They lost a guy who can guard Embiid, who can guard Giannis, and who has done so successfully. And more importantly than that, not that I think Porzingis isn't going to be okay at doing it. Like, I don't want Horford guarding those guys throughout the regular season, because that's going to take a toll. And as much as the playoffs are what matters, and he can do it in a playoff series, like the Celtics might have to get creative on Giannis and Embiid and Jokic and all these guys in the regular season, because Grant's not there to take on that heavy duty workload. So, but as far as other teams, like I think a lot of those top tier teams already have that guy. Like you have Bam for the Heat. You have Evan Mobley, who's supposed to be growing into that guy for the Cavaliers. You have a imperfect duo of Mitchell Robinson and the body of Julius Randle. Like you have big guys in the New York front court. I'm not saying it's
Julius
perfect,
Randle when he's not stumbling around on the offensive end to try.
You have you have big bodies. And so I don't. Once more on top of that, I think the other important thing to note is there aren't really many Giannis stoppers out there. Like there's not guys who can just stop Giannis. Like the only guys we've really seen do that consistently, and maybe this is just bias, is like Horford and Grant. That's been the best example you've seen out there. And so Bam, give him his credit too. Bam has done a phenomenal job at it too, and it did it in the first round of the series last year. So I don't know if it's as much as they're not trying to get them, or if it's more of there aren't many and the teams that need them already have them.
Yeah, I really circled back to Al Horford when I thought about this, just because he and Grant are the only ones, like you mentioned, that have really done an excellent job at it. I think you could point to Bam as well, but he was homegrown for Miami, so they didn't have to go and get him. And I don't think they drafted him back in 2017 as a Giannis stopper, because Giannis wasn't Giannis just yet. He was close. He was getting there. He was catching attention of people, but he wasn't MVP Giannis. He wasn't winning finals MVPs, leading the Bucks to a title. Are there teams in the East now that are on the come up? I guess you could point to the Knicks and Cavs, but even then, Mobley, homegrown. Maybe they drafted him more with a Giannis stopper mentality in mind. Let's look at the real rising teams, right? Like in Orlando, maybe in Indiana. Miles Turner's been in Indiana, so that's not a reactive move. Orlando, do they have anybody like that just yet?
Wendell Carter's all right. Not really though. They don't really have anybody. I mean, Indiana drafted Jarris Walker, if you want to look at like a bulky forward who could throw at him, but it doesn't seem like they're planning. It just seems like they're getting guys that can fit with their core, which is
how often throughout history have there been stopper guys? How often has it really been like teams are going to get stoppers? LeBron. That's one.
Sure.
LeBron stopper, PJ Tucker was labeled a LeBron stopper.
He could also be a Giannis stopper. Sixers want to get PJ Tucker. Like, that could be an example, too.
PJ Tucker's washed now. He's cooked. But, no, seriously, he is.
I know what you mean.
But, like, I don't know. I guess there were probably Jordan stoppers back in the day, back when I was in
PJ Tucker was a KD stopper for the Bucks 2 years ago. He literally was.
Sure.
That's an example.
But it's very rare. I think Giannis is at the level where there should be stoppers, but he is a unique guy.
This is turning into a Reddit question of the day because I'm thinking of examples now. Curry, stopper, Matthew Dellavedova. Shout out for Jayson.
Yeah, but they didn't go get him for that.
I know.
It was his job, and J.R. Smith was like, it almost killed him in that finals to chase him around.
Yeah.
Good question.
The last question. If a team wanted to target the Celtics, what type or specific players would be involved? Perhaps long athletic types? Yeah, just wings that can guard Jayson Tatum. Like 4 years ago, PJ Tucker, or, I guess Josh Richardson, if they want wing help, like just wings, just good defensive wings who can come in and play some defense. But as weird as it sounds, like a lot of these top teams around the East don't really have great wing stoppers anymore. Jrue Holiday is now in the West for the time being. And in the case of most of these top teams, their best quote unquote wing stoppers are the star players. It's Jimmy Butler in Miami. Caleb Martin did a good job. I'll give him credit, but like Gabe Vincent played really good defense for them and he's not there anymore. The Sixers have like Tobias Harris. That's who they're throwing at him, and old PJ Tucker.
Kel Bridges.
And that's
north,
Kel Bridges.
OG and Scotty Barnes. That's probably the best one. Toronto.
That's a good one too. But then now the Bucks with Dame don't really have much to throw at the Celtics. They have Jay Crowder.
Who's stopping D. White?
No one. This is true. This is true.
Also, for me, if a team wanted to target the Celtics, guys that can close games, Celtics haven't proven that they can do that yet.
True.
Truthfully, as much as I like to make fun of it, we have not seen them dominate and take a whole lot of close games. Even last year when they were at their best, they got off to that roaring start. They were beating the piss out of teams. They went into Phoenix and beat them by 50. And then all of a sudden, they weren't able to win these close games. It carried over to the playoffs. That's why they went down to Miami. They dropped 1 and 2 at home after falling apart in the fourth quarter. Get yourself a closer. Jimmy Butler in that first game was excellent. In the second game, he goes head-to-head with Grant, turns up, closes the game. Celtics win that series if they could close games. They win a finals if they could close games. If you want to beat the Celtics, get closers.
There you go. And speaking of guys who you would get to stop the Jays in the finals, Andrew Wiggins. There you go.
Yes.
He shut him down. And before we close this, just while we're on Dame, this is from Mark J. Spears. Sources to Anscape. With Miami talks going nowhere, agent Aaron Goodwin, privately told the Bucks and Nets 10 days ago that Dame would be interested in a deal there. The Blazers were a real contender to land the ex-Blazer star, but ultimately the Bucks got the deal done. So there were some other teams that Dame was like, all right, whatever, let's just do that instead, which is whatever.
More respectable, but still kind of get fucked.
Still. All right, let's move in to the NBA section and cover the real news of today. Let's cover the real important stuff. Rudy Gay signed with the Warriors. Let's go. You're Rudy Gay this morning, like, all right, I got the Shams tweet or the Woj tweet or whoever it was, and then it's just Damian Lillard has been traded to the Bucks. Rudy Gay sitting there like this, like, guys, I did something today. This means
I wonder
nothing.
That purpose. Do you think teams knew that this was coming today?
Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like everyone around the league kind of gets like a little preview, right? They have to.
If I'm, who is mad about this? If I'm them, Kelly Oubre. If I could have signed with this Bucks team instead of the Sixers 4 days ago, I would. I'd say, all right, let me go to Milwaukee. Let me see you later.
That's true. They could use him too because we just talked. Well, I don't know how great of a defender Kelly
He's
Oubre
not the
is,
best
but he has
defender,
the potential to. He has the body lengthwise to do it. He's skinny.
I agree. And just for the sake of Jack predicts the future moments, let me look at something real quick. If you want, just thank you, Philip, for giving me this idea. If you want guys who could defend the Celtics, who do we think the Bucks are going to pick out of free agency, saying, "Oh, you can stop them, right? You can stop them, right?" Juan Toscano Anderson, Jermichael Green. I'm just looking at the best options, and Justice Winslow. If one of those guys, one of those guys get picked up by the Bucks, you say
you can stop him, right? Kevin James. Yeah.
You hit him with it. Next NBA thing, DeMar DeRozan called Bulls fans idiots. Effectively, right? Kind of. Was basically asked about.
Yeah, he did.
DeMar DeRozan asked if about Bulls fans saying the team should start a rebuild. Where was this? What podcast was this? Do you know?
I actually don't know the sourcing on this. I actually don't even remember where I got it from.
That's
but
fine. That's fine.
This is my
this is Sam's reaction to the quote. DeMar DeRozan said, "A lot of people who say that or suggest that really don't understand basketball. That route doesn't necessarily always work in a timely fashion you may think it will take." And he said this. He spoke with Sports Kita, but the Sam's reaction to
the guy trying not to laugh.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, DeMar. You're both like
initial take from this is while it may be true that it doesn't always work in a timely fashion, takes longer if you don't start, right? That's like being like, yeah, I'm fat as fuck, but takes a long time to lose weight, so I'm just not gonna try. Like, well, you're never gonna lose weight if you don't try, or you're never going to learn Spanish if you don't try. Like, yeah, learning Spanish takes a long time. Takes long if you don't start.
DeMar DeRozan just calling them idiots.
DeMar DeRozan likes being in Chicago, probably knows he's part of a departure if there's a rebuild. It takes a long time if you... This is the funniest... This and the Tyler Hero being like, yeah, dude, they were trying to tamper is the funniest thing to just come onto the show sheet today, where it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like this makes no sense. Tyler Hero being like, yeah, dude, Milwaukee tampered. Like, it doesn't matter. You were gone. You should be like, I think they did it clean.
Yeah. That shit's fire.
Today might be the funniest day in the NBA in quite some time. I guess that's kind of what happens when a big trade happens.
Yeah.
But everybody just talking out of their ass. And this DeRozan thing was not from today.
Isaiah Thomas had something today. I don't know if you saw it.
Harden.
Isaiah Thomas, he said, y'all think Harden shows up to training camp or nah? Will they trade him soon? Bucks got to be the favorite in the East now, right? When healthy, they matched up best with Denver. Isaiah Thomas also responding to a tweet of the Bucks roster saying, y'all got a roster spot.
As he should.
He's asking out. They need perimeter defense. Go get Isaiah.
Because we found out Lamar Stevens, Exhibit 9 training camp deal.
Yeah, so it seems likely that he'll make the roster. Smith. Yeah, but he still has to fight for it. All right, Sam. Reddit post today. What you got?
This is a good one. This actually I probably should have pushed to Saturday because I put this on the show sheet today, not knowing we were going to get a bomb. I made this at probably like noon.
Sure.
So Sam's Reddit post of the day. What are some NBA subplots you're invested in that aren't getting attention on national media? I want to do a little catch up for all the listeners that might not know what has happened this summer. The poster says, I feel like most of the content here is either focused on past legends, never-ending historical rankings, NBA narratives, and the main stories that are getting attention on the networks and on social media. I do read some interesting new stuff on the team subs, but I'm interested in what the side stories or subplots you'll be focusing on this season are. Here are some of mine, the person writes. The Detroit Pistons bigs rotation. I feel like Wiseman, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, and Marvin Bagley all proved at some point that they are worth a big role on the team. Probably true. I think most scouts, I do too, think that anyone will distract Duren from fulfilling his potential or anyone who will distract Duren from fulfilling his potential should be moved. Probably true. He was excellent for them as a rookie last year. They brought in Wiseman too to try and get a little bit of juice out of him. A subplot would be, is Duren a Chris Webber type that can play power forward next to a big, or is he a Howard type of massive paint terror? This one is discussed a bit, but Brandon Ingram, Zion as a pairing. Ingram always looks like the better individual when Zion is out, but when the team looks better is when Zion does play. A lot of this is mumbo jumbo mess typing. That's why I'm stumbling through it. The Magic point guard situation, something we talk about a little bit. Markelle was such a feel-good story last year. I was bummed that they brought in Anthony Black. Does Markelle have another level to reach, or is he maxed out and is what he is?
Also, Jalen Suggs and Cole Anthony. They got a bunch of guards down there.
What's some of yours? So you go ahead and you give yours. I'm going to click the link and go into the comments.
As much as I still think they're the best in the West, like the Nuggets depth got kind of bad.
Sure did.
Year. Like really, like losing Bruce Brown was huge. Losing Jeff Green was sneaky huge as well. Vlatko Kanchar goes down. He was probably going to play a decent role for them this year. Like they're really left with like Zeke, Najee, Christian Brown off the bench. And Christian Brown had a great season.
Brown, who has earned the respect of many.
He's good, but that depth got bad. We've talked about it a crazy amount. Chris Paul and Golden State, like, what are we doing? What's gonna happen?
Celtics draft pick rubs hands together.
And another one you mentioned last podcast, like John Collins is on the Jazz now. Jazz aren't a bad team.
Kind of like I think the storyline is not so much the Jazz are a bad team, but besides the Spurs, and it's kind of unfair to even be like them because you don't know where you're gonna get a Wemby. Who are the bad teams in the West? Like, there's really not that many.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Portland getting Ayton, like they're okay.
Yes. We talked about this kind of like off air. Like Portland, kind of good now. But so is
the
everyone.
Jazz, though. Like the Jazz have maybe the tallest lineup outside of maybe Boston's taller, but like Lauri Markkanen is going to run the 3 at 7 foot tall.
Yep.
Right. John Collins is 6'10" running the 4, and then Walker Kessler is going to be 7'1" running the center. Obviously, you have a little bit of a fall off because Colin Sexton's running one, but if Talon Horton Tucker's in there at 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", I don't know how tall he is, but he's a taller point guard. Like he's huge. Jordan Clarkson 6'5". Like they have a long lineup. Ochai Agbaji, like they could low key be a team to look out for if they get people to buy in, and Will Hardy really has them like locked in, like to be a top 10 defense in the league next year. Like they could be real good if they have people locked in. So I think the Jazz are going to be sneaky fun. Those are probably some of my top ones, and also like this is definitely not niche enough, but like. Dude, the Thunder are going to be gross. The Thunder are going to be so fucking good next year. The Thunder is so, like, they're nasty. They're going to be nasty. Chet in general. Chet in general is going to be fun.
Pressure on the Thunder. Because everyone believes that. Like you said, it's not niche. Like, everyone's like, watch out for the Thunder.
They're going to be good. Yeah.
Kind of pressure on them. Top comment. If the Kings can replicate their success, is Fox hitting his prime, or was his health and efficiency increase flukish? Halliburton gets touted as a winner despite winning nothing, so be curious if he could drag the Pacers to the playoffs. And once he gets there, in correct form of there, does his weird shot work less when NBA players are 100% engaged in playoff basketball? Actually, a decent question because he shoots from like his waist chest area. Torso, I guess is what they call that. Same for the constant jump passes and such. Also, can he make Obi look good? Well, the Pacers were a playoff team when he was
forgot about Obi
last year. We need to do put it in the bank. I don't know when we want to do it. We need to do a who he played for. I'll guess, and it's a nice catch up for the listeners too.
That is a good one. We also need to do our standings predictions for the season, but that can come like the week before.
That's like tip off week. Next comment. I just hope Marcus Smart does well in Memphis. Miss him already.
You still see me?
Yeah.
My entire computer screen's just shut off.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I'm here.
Really looking forward to the Nick Nurse and Embiid Maxey dynamic. Doc was such a game manager that Joel's thrived under. Now with a little more pressure on him, let's see where the accountability goes. Also, expecting Maxey to move up to just outside of the all-star consideration for guards. Probably fair. Some other Sixers subplots that intrigue me that aren't James Harden. Can Melton get his offensive efficiency higher where his usage makes him the 4th best player in our rotation? Will Oubre understand he isn't, quote-unquote, the guy and learn to pass the ball? He and Embiid could do wonders together. Both out of
No.
Will Furk get his trade demand? This is actually a really great Reddit post. We could do a whole
one that sneaky one now that Dame's traded. Like the Bucks were already slated to be better this year because Bud is gone. AJ Griffin's a good coach. Like they have a whole new thing in there.
Bud's not there to like stand there with his mouth agape.
Yeah. But anyways, do you want to call it there and head into the rat?
We'll call it there. There's a bunch more we could do on this. Maybe we'll even revisit it. I don't think so.
Agreed.
There's so many Reddit posts that the Reddit community does an excellent job with, so we don't really need to do that.
All right, though. Let's
pull them up
to the rat list. Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
I only have the one right now. I may think of some others. Jack got a bonus rat list that he will not make the air, but yes, you can go first, Jack.
Rat list, this fucking bug that I just killed. Get shit on. All right, sorry.
More like the rip list, dude. Get shit on.
Yeah, rat list Ticketmaster. So a couple podcasts ago, might have been last podcast. I came on here super excited because I signed up for Noah Khan pre-sale tickets. Get into Ticketmaster 10 a.m. this morning. Early for Jack. Early morning, right? 10 a.m. Big. Get in there. Get in the queue. 3,000 ahead of me in the queue. You might think, oh, that's a lot. My friend got 20,000 ahead of him in the queue.
Fenway Park, correct?
Fenway Park. So it's a pretty big venue. I got pretty good. 3,000 people. By the time I get in, no tickets left. Gone. All gone. All gone tickets. My sister got 4 for the day before. However, and I gave her the money, right? It's fine. Guess how much the upcharge was for Ticketmaster? So these tickets, concert tickets, right? You have to, in context here. My friend got them for, I think they were like $179 plus fees on the MLB app. Ticketmaster?
Okay, not bad.
Ticketmaster? $400.
That was my guess.
Before fees. $500 after.
Celtics tickets are no joke either, dude.
What are we doing here?
Everything's up. It's expensive to go see stuff because people want to go do stuff after COVID.
I am a big, if I want to do something, I'm going to spend the money to enjoy myself because I'd rather spend it and enjoy myself. Yep. So I'm going to do it. And my sister's like, I want to sell these tickets. I said, don't sell them because I want to do it. And so I said, it's fine. I'll figure it out and I'll do it. However, Ratless Ticketmaster for being rats and taking forever to do it and being more expensive than the other website. And also just not having tickets. Like they put the pre-sale on 2 different sites. So they had to split that in half. And there's also a general sale on Friday. So I'm going to try again to do it there to get tickets. But like, what are we doing? It's just, yeah. Anyways, also I'll let you go first, but Henry just tagged me on Twitter with a whole list of rat list stuff. So we have stuff now.
Did he do his own rat list?
He gave me stuff from around our house to rat list. And he just, there's like 6 things here. So I'll let you go. Then I'll run through Henry's list. Henry, my brother, by the way, for listeners.
Rat list. I'll do the dreams because it's kind of short. Rat list dreams, sleeping. So recently I have begun to have dreams. This is back-to-back days where in my dream, my alarm goes off.
Ooh.
Right now, Jack, you may not be familiar with alarms because you do get up late.
I do set them. I just don't hear them.
Okay. All right.
I just don't. Fun fact, not to interrupt your story, I had an RA come to me in college once and said my alarm was waking up neighbors and not myself. So I couldn't use it anymore. So I just don't wake up to alarms. So, anyways.
So oftentimes in real life, when my alarm does go off and I'm asleep, in my dream, I'll be in whatever scenario, scene, whatever you want to call it, and the alarm sound will be a part of it.
Can you play your alarm for the people? Which alarm?
No, I'm not playing because I hate the sound.
Okay.
Just know, whatever my alarm is, whatever your alarm is, imagine it creeping into your dreams, okay? So I'll wake up and my alarm will be going off. It's time to start my day. I have now dreamt that my alarm was going off in the context of it being an alarm. So like I was sleeping and it went off. And I would wake up and it's not actually going off. So my body is waking me up at times that I'm not supposed to wake up. And I don't know.
Early? Like how much earlier is this? Like
so yesterday it was fine because it was like 2 or 3 hours early. I go back to sleep. It's like, oh, fire. Yeah, go back to sleep. Today, 15 minutes early, can't go back to sleep.
Yeah, that's a disaster. What is 15 minutes early for you? Like what time are you waking up?
5.
So it woke you up at 5 or woke you up at 4:45?
4:45.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I mean, I might have still been awake.
Back in my prime. That's disaster. I've been told. I also hear my alarm in my dreams. Except it's weird because it's never an alarm. It's always like faded into the music and then it slowly fades and I hear it as an alarm in a second. So like it fades in. But I've been told that I'm a psycho for the alarm that I use. I need to find it now. Where can I find this?
Well, I think you had it queued. What kind of psycho? You're a psycho for being like, I'm a psycho for the alarm I use and not having the alarm like ready.
I know. Is this it? That's not it. Yeah, I don't know if I get it. It's just the bah, 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 like the really loud.
That's not the one I use, but
okay.
I don't think there's anything psycho about that. What's psycho about that? That sounds like
I don't know. People have just told me like this. This is the alarm that I use.
Oh, little tidbit.
What?
Back to the Jrue Holiday thing. Good friend Keith, you may see this. Jrue Holiday's agent has done a lot of work with Boston over the years. Just tossing that out there. Ellipse.
Eyes emoji. Eyes emoji.
All right.
If this happens, I'm going to be so hyped. All right. Let me pull up the Henry tweet. Rat list. And this is a good one because I forgot about it. Our hot water is broken. Or it was.
Oh, no.
For a minute. So Sunday after ball, Sam, Jack came home and took a cold shower.
Cold shower's not that bad. Depends on the context.
Horrible.
Depends on the context.
Yes,
not good.
In my context.
Like, probably not good after driving home from ball. Good after stepping in the house after going for a run. Great.
Sure, I'll buy that.
There's actually like no sensation quite like when you're in a cold shower and you can feel the warm sweat like leaving your skin and being replaced with the cold water.
I feel like cold shower is fine, but when you don't have a choice and you have to take a cold shower,
yes,
disaster. Bathrooms with no towels or paper towels, says Henry. Just a general rat list. You go to the bathroom, there's nothing in there. That's a disaster. I don't deal with this issue because I purchased my own Wi-Fi, but in our house, the Wi-Fi is in like the very corner of the house. And I moved my room downstairs specifically to be closer to the Wi-Fi at one point in time during COVID. But Henry is still on the opposite side of the house. So he says my Wi-Fi is ass during FaceTime.
His Wi-Fi or my Wi-Fi, what's worse? Henry, tell us.
Probably yours. But Henry's isn't that isn't that the Wi-Fi is choppy. It's that it constantly connects and disconnects from his phone because he's just far enough away.
That's what mine does. That's what mine does literally when we do shows.
I didn't know that. I wasn't sure if your Wi-Fi was just bad. Anyways. Henry says also coworkers who can't communicate, which is sure. I'll buy that.
Sure. Neither here nor there.
Bonus rat list from mom. Expensive surgery for Duke because my mom got the bill for the vet today, and let's just say it was more expensive than my my concert tickets by maybe a few times amount. She's not too pleased. Duke, who tore his ACL, who will now have to be having surgery on the 9th, so
a wheelchair
from Monday. No, but he's have to be confined to one single room where he cannot get up on anything, and he's just gonna be barking at me all day, regardless of the sedation. But they took him to his consultation today. And the other dog has separation anxiety. She doesn't like when people are gone. So she spent the entire morning just whining. And I had to kick her out of my room. I'm like, you got to stop. She was pissing me off. So she got the boot. I will say anti-ratless though today, continuing my addictive personality, got Jersey Mike's again. It's very good.
Job. Yeah.
Got me addicted.
Good sandwich. Surgery tidbit. Well, I guess veterinarian tidbit. My cat Squeak back in his day. I mean, he's still
great
kicking.
name.
Yeah. Well, he squeaked when we brought him home. Like when he was a kitten, like that's how he would meow. It sounded like a squeak.
Squeak's
never grew
still
out
around.
Of it. Yeah, still kicking. Okay, skeleton now. Used to be real fat.
Oof.
So he had to go to the hospital one day, but he was consistently in the veterinarian office. And I mean, he was a regular. He had like anxiety, heart failure, diabetes. So he has been a little walking cash cow for the vet.
There you go. You know who else has been a cash cow for the hospitals in general? My family. I think I've told this story before. Well, on the one hand, you have Henry, who just falls asleep a lot, so they had to take him to the doctor a lot. So to the point where, children's, when we were kids, recognized our family is how often we were in there. I got hit in the head with a baseball bat. I think I've told that story out here. Henry got hit in the head with a baseball bat by me and Grace, so twice, 2 different times.
You guys could do that to your kids. Part of the family tradition.
I bit through my tongue as a child, so I had to go to the hospital. My sister hit Henry with a golf club. So the hospital got to knowing about us. Henry has a scar in his head where he can't grow hair from my tooth. He's just a little tooth mark in his head. We went down the slide together as kids, and Henry stopped a little too fast for me, and it just bit him in the head. Do I have any more rat list? I'm trying to think. Oh,
I do.
I have. You want to go first, and then I'll go, or do you want to close?
Yours might be more of a closer than me. So, rat list, running in the dark. This week, I have had to get up at 5 a.m. And I usually get up at 5 a.m. on work days when I go in. This week, we're all in an hour early. It's like a special event week going on. They have us coming in at 8 instead of 9. So I have to get up early and run in the dark. And it's terrifying. At the beginning, I start off on a bike path where there are no lights. Yesterday, I got punked by a park bench. Thought it might be like a coyote. Do you remember earlier this year when there were like the coyotes running around my neighborhood and I was bitching about it?
Yes. Yeah.
That was terrible. So I always like am worried they're going to be out at night because I know they exist. They do exist. So I would like to not meet them. So it's actually kind of cool being out there as the sun comes up, but the very beginning, not a lot of fun. A lot of tightness, heavier breathing, angst as I trudge through the dark.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's very fun. I don't like running in general, so doing it in the dark doesn't sound very fun.
Worst run I ever did was when I was at the news station. I had to go in at
You
4.
told me this. Yeah, I remember.
And there was one day, it was supposed to be 100 degrees. That was a Wednesday. And I got up at 2 and went running. It was fucking terrible. It was the worst run ever. It was still hot. I had this reflective vest on. It was pitch black the whole time. It was like terrifying times 10.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun at all. Why didn't you just, not run that day?
I'm me. That's why.
All right. My last rat list today. So this is just the chronicles of Jack goes to his aunt's house. My aunt, by the way, who I call Gaga, because when we were kids, we couldn't call her by her, like we were just idiots. So her name is Maggie, but we were stupid. So that is, you know what I'm saying? That's what we call her now. Anyways,
dude, I'd be heated if people were calling me Gaga.
And she said,
I'd be so mad.
I'm 24 years old. By
your mom would be hearing it from me. Like if my siblings, kids, my nieces and nephews were calling me Gaga, I'd be like, fix your kids.
It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, her dogs, who are named Woody and Rocket. Rocket's the puppy. Woody is amazing. I love her. But Rocket, I kick the ball to him, right? And he goes to chase it. Like there's this orange ball he bites it, he brings it to my feet. And we developed a good rhythm, me and Rocket. He's an asshole. He's not my favorite, but we kick it back and forth while I pet Woody. She just kind of sits there looking at me. She's stupid, but she loves love. She loves attention. But Rocket has now developed this tendency he's very impatient. And so instead of waiting for me to kick the ball, he oftentimes jumps in front of it. And so I go to kick the ball and he's 3 feet away from me. And I just nail him right in the face. And he's fine. Like he doesn't care. He's just happy to play. But I'm like, every time he does it, I'm just yelling at him like,
CTE.
dude, can you just not for a second? Yeah, he's a dick. Also,
some of my cats do the same thing. Like, but there's no ball. So I'm just walking and they're like, please kick me. Like one of the cats is just she's like already like kind of paralyzed, so like her back legs kind of don't work. She's fine. She still like clomps around the house at record speeds. But you'll just be like walking around the kitchen and just wham.
Yeah,
like, please just kick the shit out of me.
My dogs enjoy that. They if they know there's food there, they'll walk right in front of you and get in your path. But all right, before we wrap, Sam, I only have one thing in front of me. Actually, I have 2 things. If you want to guess some calories here, we can have you guess, just because they're just around my desk. First one is gum. A stick of gum. How many calories in a stick of gum?
Those, I think, are 10 per stick.
5 per stick for extra. So get yourself some extra gum. You want some non-2 calorie effect. I might get judged for eating these, but they're fire. These are oyster crackers, and I just bought a bag of them to snack on.
Those are fire.
Right?
Have I ever done? I don't know what the all right. Like, let me give you a calorie guess. What's the grams?
You guys get your daily ASMR from me crinkling the bag. 22 crackers, 15 grams.
15 grams is probably like 100 calories.
Only 60. Good little snack. Good little snack for you.
Good snack.
Yeah.
So my weird snack that I have not ordered and probably will never do, but would the wafers from church. People might get mad at that, but like they're actually kind of fire. Like, have you ever had the Eucharist?
Yeah, of course, but they're not
kind of a fire item. Like, I could probably just sit here slamming back the body of Christ.
They taste like a texturally better rice cake, is what they are.
Yes,
effectively.
They also kind of have like a little ice cream cone to them.
Yeah, I see it actually. Yeah. I can back you there.
Yeah, not a bad snack. People. It's very polarizing statement. Sometimes they're like, you're crazy. Other times they're like, yeah, actually, no, I would wholesale order a box of them, just keep them here. And I mean, probably no calories.
Can you not?
No, you can. Go on Amazon, dude. Look up Eucharist.
Why don't you?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to be judged.
The judgment?
Yeah.
Comments. Let us know if Sam should order a bunch of fucking Eucharist. That's the most fire shit you've ever said on here. Did you go to church as a kid? Like, were you raised?
I had communion. I got confirmed.
Me too.
I wore a Celtics tie to my confirmation. Then I went back for Game 6 of the 2020 Eastern Conference Finals.
And
they lost.
I wore a Marcus Smart jersey to my college graduation under the thing. Anyways, all right. that can be about it for us. We appreciate y'all for sticking with us and hanging out as we talk Dame, as we talk Rat List, and all of this good stuff. If we get a Jrue Holiday trade by some miracle, you will definitely hear from us, and you can say you heard it from us first, unless it happens the next few hours. To which I will say we recorded this first. It's 7:21 p.m. on September 27th. Anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all the love we've been getting lately. A couple of our videos starting to get back up there. Season slowly climbing up. We appreciate those of you who care about Aaron Baines, even though we kind of knew it was bound to be here and there, but
we'll be recording again tomorrow.
We'll get you some new videos out there. We actually have some good ideas this time around.
We have some ideas. You might like this one.
New stuff coming up, but check us out on Spotify and Apple as well. Leave us 5 stars if you'd like, and make sure to leave a comment and see us on Playback TV. Let me check. We had 4 last time. Did we have
it's gonna be 4 again.
I know. I'm waiting though. You guys better follow us on Playback. It is now still 4. It's still 4.
Yeah, it's still 4.
Go follow us on Playback. Come on, guys.
We're gonna actually have to do something.
I know. We'll have to do it at the start of the pod. But anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yes, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, you are on YouTube, whether it's ours or CLS's or CLS's other. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Celtics content coming your way. You can also hit the notification bell just in case some trade does break or move breaks that we need to hop on here. Emergency video for you. You can find us on Spotify and Apple if you just like the audio versions. They are up there, so leave a 5-star review. Follow us. And say something nice about the fellas. Socials at How About Them C's. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The Facebook is just the name of the podcast. We are active promoting stuff on there. So again, if you want the links to what we write, they will be there. Speaking of writing, keep your eyes peeled. Coming soon, Celtics hater power rankings. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm 3,000 words deep and I'm halfway done. So if you like me complaining, you'll like that. You can follow Jack on Twitter at JackSmutNBA. He just did a great Grant article. A lot of people had some things to say to him in the comments of that one.
People did not like it.
And you can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.